All right, everyone. Welcome to Hype GG's semifinal match in the Premier League between Syndicate and Industrious Gaming. I am Ryomasa, stepping up to the desk for play-by-play, and joining me on the color side is Fannybabbs.
Hi, Ryle. Good to be here.
Yep, definitely going to be an interesting set of games. Syndicate, of course, the first one coming in through top of the standings. Industrious coming in a little bit further behind, I believe, in that sort of tied cluster with the 11-7, but is going to be a best-of-3 game, like I said before. So looking forward to some pretty good matches from these guys. Although that being said, Syndicate is sort of the favored team coming in today as well.
Yeah. There are situations in which I think Industrious can take this one, but I'm expecting a clean 2-0 from Syndicate. Seeing the game bans coming through, Vladimir Gangplank banned away, strong champions in the right hands, and Rek'Sai more of the utility type things. You and I were talking, we've expected a Sona ban here on this patch.
Yeah, she did get some pretty powerful changes in patch 6.14, which is where we are on now, but looks like pretty standard ban so far, aside from, I think, the Gangplank, which is probably pretty targeted towards winner there. But yeah. Braum, Rek'Sai, Cassiopeia, Vladimir Victor, all things we've seen pretty strong in the meta, at least for the last couple patch cycles.
Yeah, I mean, the obvious champions left available would be like the Gragas jungle, pretty, flexible option, and stuff like, Karma, Jhin, and Ashe would be the other, top tier picks. So it'll be interesting to see what they go with here.
Definitely true. We are hovering for that first pick now, and we're going to see what comes out for, I believe, Industrious Gaming on the blue side, Syndicate on the red. And that's going to be the Karma pick coming out. Karma, of course, a very highly contested range support with that ability to speed up and provide sort of openings for her entire team, as well as a pretty, almost dominantly strong laning phase now that Zyra's dropped out of favor.
Yeah, and she's also a flex option in the mid lane and for, the creative top laners sometimes in the top lane. Just a solid early pick if you want to sort of build a rushdown type supportive team comp.
Definitely true. We'll see if they tend to go with something more like a poke comp. That being said, well, there goes the other component of it. Sivir picked up here for Syndicate. Deny that Karma Sivir synergy with the double ultimates and the speed boosts. And Gragas picked up here for the jungle. Pretty standard coming in, looking to maybe see an Elise or something of that ilk coming out in return.
Yeah, I'm not certain if Imtu is a big Nidalee player. Nidalee into Gragas is a fairly good matchup for Nidalee, and since the Sivir rushdown was taken away and the, Rek'Sai was banned out, whatever jungler Imtu wants to go with is kind of fair game.
Yeah, very true. We've got a Lucian hover coming in here for spawn. To see if that comes in. Actually, Graves hovered here for Imtu as well. Did get a couple of bug fixes in the last patch. Nothing really major, especially since it was very matchup specific. But definitely not necessarily what you would consider a top tier laner, but jungler, but pretty solid overall.
Yeah, he and Karma can scrap decently well with a lot of mobility. The problem with picking Lucian and Graves is that it leaves, both their ranged damage dealers, their structure destroying damage dealers, are extremely short range compared to, the Sivir wave clear and the Gragas barrels and stuff. So this is going to be a execution heavy team comp that relies on getting picks to actually close out the game.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do that. That being said, it is a little easier to do it with Lucian just because of that Lightslinger passive, especially if they pick up a couple of early Mountain Drakes, depending on the RNG of the Drakes there. But yeah, like you said, definitely some short range coming in, especially also things about the double range is it doesn't really leave them much options if they're trying to build a front line as well. They only got the really top lane to sort of do that for Thief in his pick and ban, because mid normally not so much the tank.
Right, and it means that this mid lane pick, assuming that the Karma isn't mid lane, is going to be pretty important here from Industrious, since the mid lane is going to be where a lot of their playmaking is going to be coming from.
Definitely true. There it is. There's a Sona for Alex and Theo coming out from Frosty. Picked that up in the round. A Fiora as well coming out for a winner in the top lane. So we'll see how that goes. Fiora did receive some quality of life changes with the buffs to her early game healing and her Q scaling as well, but still generally not considered really that great. There are better options sort of we've seen coming out like Jackson Aurelia as far as bruiser top laners go, but if she can hit that late game, she is terrifying.
We got a Malzahar hovered. This is just a game full of all the things you never want to see in solo queue.
Well, I mean, it promptly, and apparently they don't want to say it heater because it promptly went away. That being said, I don't think that's a Draven.
I don't think you're playing Draven mid. This is an interesting pick and ban. Some OPs going to both sides, but You know, the predictable Maokai top laner there, I think the Fiora was actually a preemptive counterpick to that. Fiora does very well into these, you know, tanky, low-damage laners.
Very true. One of the reasons actually Twisted Fate coming in here for Frosty as well. So that will be
Frosty has a lot of Twisted Fate games. He's a big Twisted Fate player. This is a comfort pick for him.
All right, we'll see how that works out for them. That being said, we're going to run down the lines real quick. Thief on Maokai in the top lane for Industrious. Imp2 on Graves in the jungle. McBays on Malzahar in the mid lane. And Spawn and Peak making up the Lucian Karma bot lane. For Syndicate, you've got Winner on Fiora in the top lane. Treebro on Gragas in the jungle. Frosty on that Twisted Fate in the mid lane. And Promise and Alex and Theo making up the Sivir Sona bot lane. That being said, one thing I didn't actually consider is that Sona does, in fact, have one of those sort of... aura move speed buffs, so we'll see if she can sort of use that aura to compete with Peak as far as move speed goes, because with Promise it's going to be pretty strong.
Well, yeah, and anyone who's played against Sona on this patch, especially once she gets all her ranks and ultimate in that late game level 16 part area, she's just ridiculously hard to deal with. You know, simultaneously very tanky, very fast, putting out a lot of consistent damage, and constantly helping her allies to do the same. 67% CDR is just a bit much. It's like playing Earth all the time.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out coming into the actual match, but for now we're going to toss it back over to the stream, play some music for you guys, and we'll join you in just a little bit when we do hit Summoner's Rift. All right, folks, welcome to the Rift. We are back for Syndicate versus Industrious Gaming, coming in for the first match of our semi-final best-of-3 series. And right now, it looks like everyone kind of leaning really hard to the right side of Summer's Rift here for Industrious.
He has a really big protection of their jungle. I guess they're expecting some action out of Syndicate there, but the monkey invade isn't coming. Nobody's just coming in 5-man stack into their jungle, so it looks like this is just going to be a 5-point out of the Syndicate, and they're going to have a safe red side jungle for Graves.
Yeah, that is a very, very safe red side jungle. Meanwhile, Syndicate choosing to fan out across the Rift, kind of a more standard start. Looks, though, like they're trying for a blind lane swap here in the top lane, sending Promise and Alex and Theo up towards that top lane. It'll be very interesting to see. Looks like they're going to go for standard lanes here for the side of Industrious, so that will be a 2v1 in the top lane. So pretty standard lane swaps as far as everything is concerned.
Right, and with the lane matchups, you don't really want to be laning against Karma Lucian anyway, particularly not with new Sona, whose early game phase is not nearly as strong as her quite oppressive late game. So the swap to get out of the bad lane matchup and to get their weak champions through their weak early game is a good call from them, I think.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out across time. Actually, they're going for a quick little invade here into the side of the blue buff. Don't seem to get much done, but Alex Theo going to be dropping a couple of deep wards in the jungle and looking for Imp2, who is clearly on the other side of the jungle now, so just going to head back up the top lane. Meanwhile, Wenner and Trebro going to do that double jungle in the top lane as they split off to different camps. Or not, Wenner just went the wrong way.
Thief pinged out the lane swap pretty early, so they knew what was happening. He played a little bit safe and didn't take too much punishment there, but these lanes are just going to kind of play out with these early tower trades, and the top laners struggling to get farm wherever they can.
Yeah, well, that has kind of been the name of the game, is bot laners get turrets and top laners just cry a lot. But meantime, a lot of damage onto Frosty, though. Malzahar, set it and forget it. Thief is actually playing very, very sort of greedy here, just staying in that top lane, trying to get as much EXP as possible. He's already got a level up on Wenner at this point, who is just now joining fight, walking across the map. I think Thief is going to use that teleport down to the bot lane to try and complete that lane swap a little faster.
Yeah, you know, we never know. Picking up the early levels there can be pretty valuable, but if it puts them too far behind in the turret trade, it might not be worth it in the end.
Definitely true. We'll see how it goes. Yep, that is a 4-man push now, actually. Imp2 joining as well. That Krug's buff going to do a little bit more damage to the turret as it goes through. It does expire when you hit a turret with it. But that means this is going to be a very fast tower take here for Industrious. Syndicate's not quite so fast. They do have a 3-man on it, and Winnie Waves are crashing. But that is tempo advantage now for Industrious.
They're just going to keep on pushing this down, and since they've committed the teleport, they need to do this. Otherwise, Winner's just going to get a whole bunch of advantage off of teleporting to catch a minion wave. So this is a smart play by them.
Yeah, interesting choices here. Both teams opting to give the split gold from the turret takes instead of handing it over the solo gold. I think, oh, maybe not. I think they might just hand the solo gold over to Winner there in the top lane. But that means they're going to be backing. Industrious actually doing a pretty good chunk of damage to this tower. Almost down here, actually.
Yeah, they're going to take it. The red buff doing extra damage.
Yeah, they're definitely going to take your Thief is going to tank. It's only level 2. Going to get the Karma Shield to keep that tank going. Oh! Does manage to not die to the turret. But that is a double turret here for Industrious to start the game, putting them a nice 600 gold ahead.
Yeah, and you know the tower trade is pretty good, but it remains to be seen whether they can capitalize on it and make sure that the Maokai continues getting farmed. Because right now, Fiora's got a big wave that she's catching up top lane, and Maokai is just not getting anything.
Yeah, it definitely means they are going to have to put a little bit of pressure into that top lane to get Thief equalized with Winner. Did manage to overall win the gold trade and the objective game, but that does mean he is going to be a little bit further behind as we tick along through the lane phase. Meanwhile, McBays drove Frosty out of lane. So, thing we actually wanted to point out earlier, Frosty has Smite.
Right, yeah.
Which confused the hell out of us pregame.
I think the idea is that he's going to kill these Voidlings when Malzahar all-ins him, because you can Smite while you're suppressed. And so that'll cut some of the damage. It remains to be seen whether that's worthwhile or not. This lane matchup seems absolutely miserable. He can't pick cards and do really anything to Malzahar because of that spell shield, and the constant shoving is something that is counter to TF's game plan.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out. Uh-oh.
That's a fight.
Flash blown from Promise. Nothing too much, but that is going to be the standard 2v2 in the bot lane now. The tower's down. The base, though, does not have much mana, but, like, it doesn't matter. Frosty just takes so much damage, even through that from the Malefic Vision. But here comes Imtu. Nope, gonna turn around.
There goes the gank.
The red buff gone with the tower. Doesn't have it for the gank, and McBaze really can't support that with the mana pool he has.
Yeah. It's one of those pressure ganks you get as a jungler, where you just make your presence known and tell them to, hey, someday this could be bad for you.
I'm angry and here. Beware.
Yeah, I exist. Just raging constantly against the wave-pushing machine that is Twisted Fate.
Indeed. Well, that being said, actually, Winner's on the bot side of the jungle here, kind of taking the Scuttle Crab, so that is going to give a little bit of vision denial and a bit of dragon pressure here for Syndicate. Yeah. Meanwhile, Thief is just soaking that top wave, trying to catch up in the meantime. Has actually caught up in CS and level now, so doing pretty good for himself in that top lane, but lane objective advantage with that early Cloud Drake right now in the favor of
TP is down, and they can force this if they're willing to fight over it with the 4v5. Maokai can't realistically join, but we'll see if they take too much damage on the objective itself.
Yeah, looks like Industrious opting to go for a fast push in the top lane. Frosty pulling up off the dragon to come and deal with it, but they are both backing, so an easy dragon pickup for Syndicate with no contest by Industrious. So tempo evened out, objectives getting hand over, trade the turret for the later dragon, although it is a Cloud Drake early. Not the best one to have necessarily, but decent.
Well, any port in a storm, and we'll see if it adds up towards the end game or if the game even reaches that point. Syndicate have been known for closing their games out fairly convincingly, so if they get a lead, I imagine they'll be able to smash it home with this objective control.
Very true. Well, that being said, Treebro showing the early advantages of the Cloud Drake by moving a slight bit faster in the jungle.
Look at these pink wards. It's a lot of pink wards this early in the game.
Yep, Syndicate has a metric word I can't say on stream ton of vision
a metric amount.
A metric amount. Yes. A metric.
They've got some pink wards. Got some pink wards. Let's see if we can move them into more advantageous positions. Those two guarding their jungle were mostly just in seat to the two towers going down. Eventually, when they get more map control, they can move those out into better positions.
Yeah, so I think of interesting to note, I don't think I've actually seen Frosty use his smite yet, even though you do, in fact, you don't lose it so often. You've got the two charges now. He does have a blue buff, though, hand over from Treebro, so the wave clear a lot easier for him in that mid lane now.
Yeah. Presumably, he doesn't want to have it on the 15-second cooldown when Malzahar can all-in him. If that's the idea there, maybe he just swapped to troll himself. Who knows?
I had kind of forgotten about that. Whoops. So yeah, that would definitely be a play you want to have. Having
here comes Twisted Fate.
Here comes. Flash comes out. Gold card lands on the spawn in the back line there. Exhaust on a little Frosty, and that's going to be the end of that engage. Syndicate forced to back away in the meantime. Don't have really any objectives to pressure on the map in their spare time, but that is now a 4-man collapse here in the bot lane. Peak is going to get slowed down. Flash, the explosive cast. First blood goes over to Promise. Spawn is going to stand under the tower, but that's a teleport coming in from Thief. Spawn, can he make it? No, he can't. The Thief is going to be able to come back in, catch Promise in the back end. Heal comes through, and that's a lot of damage from the tower shot. Flash comes in, but it's not enough to kill him, and that's a double kill for little Frosty. One of the most chaotic tower dives I've seen in a long time, but a 3-0 for Syndicate.
Industrious was just not on the same page about how they wanted to play that. Maokai ported down, and Malzahar and Graves just sat mid lane. Like, they came down now, that's way too late. Their whole team's already dead.
Yeah, Imtu with the collateral damage to try and find something. Does only hit midair, but Wenner in the meantime rotating into that mid lane, picking up the CS for himself. Has actually fallen a fair bit behind Thief because of the lane freeze.
Yeah.
But Syndicate in the meantime picking up a lot of advantages for themselves.
No, Thief just erased all of his advantage that he'd been building up from catching those waves topside and denying Wenner by teleporting to his death bot side 3v5.
Well, that's not a great thing to do with a lead. In the meantime, Syndicate going to rotate up and trying to take this Rift Herald. Looks to be pretty free for them. No vision for Industrious in that side of the map as well. Actually, not very much vision for Industrious that isn't on the bot side of the map at all, actually.
There's just not much vision at all, actually.
Yeah, no, what was that?
It's
Two,
4 wards
three
on the
wards?
map across 5 champions is not acceptable. And
Yeah,
they
that's
pay
not
for it by
good.
giving
Oh,
up the
Thief,
objective.
no. Might looking to be a bait. No, do get the ward over the side. Thief, in the meantime, going to walk away. Frosty takes a bunch of damage from the culling, but it's just going to be... Oh, maybe it's not. Although, nope, chooses to let him go. Both of them back off as there are team members collapsing to that side as well. McBaze picks up the blue buff, handed over from Imtu, and wards get cleared around the map, which is really the important part.
This game is about to snowball out of control. Twisted Fate got a bunch of kills from that interesting dive situation, and he's now freezing that long lane pretty safely. The wards are all in control of Syndicate, and every member of Syndicate is doing fairly well with the sad exception of Wenner, who's now just farming to his heart's content.
Thief casually walks away from the incoming gank. Does dash the Scuttle Crab and walks out through the jungle as well. Imtu finds the ward. Treebro finds one as well. Wards traded across the map. Can I have a Vuvuzela, folks?
The ward kills are the most exciting part about these 5v5 games. You know what I'm excited about is how far ahead this Sivir is. She is basically a Cull and a BF sword ahead.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's gonna ramp up here in about 30 minions, and then she'll have completed presumably this Essence Reaver that she's working on. At which point, her spike is gonna be relatively equal to this Ghostblade start from the Lucian.
Yeah, not the greatest start for Lucian when you have a serrated Dirk and to your opponent's BF sword Cull. That being said, he does have an extra longsword, which is kind of strange.
No, extra longswords build into everything. That's just the
well,
Season
that's
6
true.
meta.
Usually you
build
see them try to
longswords
hold on and
eventually
finish the
find a
Yomus,
use
though.
for them.
I mean, I guess that's fair. You do try to usually finish that Yomus first. You get the spike a little earlier, but
he just needs to do damage to stuff. That's the entire point of the build. I don't know. I would probably have saved the gold too, but
So really what we're saying is I really am not sure, but I assume he has a plan.
Yeah, he's
All right,
gotta have
good.
a plan.
Excellent. Well, we're going to assume that Spawn has a plan because we're going to say that he does. But you know what? But that being said, you do have a point. Longswords do build into everything, so that's pretty good.
Karma
Dragon
speed
spawning.
boost, countered by the Sona speed boost. League of Mobility.
Speed everywhere. Dragon spawns now. Going to be an infernal here for this. Industrious has a bit of a better posturing on it in the meantime, but Syndicate is further ahead, and they are choosing to sort of walk away. Don't want to start that fight with Dragon hitting them while Syndicate is in position to deal with it.
Right, I don't think they even want to take a clean 5v5, let alone one where they're chunked out by Dragon. The Sona ultimate counters a lot of what they're trying to do with the Lucian and Graves needing to be up close and personal to dish out their damage.
In which the wave clear of Malzahar is not quite enough versus Sivir Twisted Fate, but it does equalize the lane in the meantime. But Wenner is being left alone in the top lane, does have teleport to join the fight, which means if Industrious wants to make a play, they're going to have to do it soon. Otherwise, that is going to be a free farming Fiora. Already 20-something CS up on Thief at the moment.
Yeah, and she's just going to keep going. Thief's going to catch this big wave here at tower and probably equalize that lead a bit, but that's just going to give priority over the Dragon area back to Syndicate, and they're going to get their wards down and clear out these pinks that Industrious finally bought.
Well, shame they did, because now it's gone.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Pink Ward. It was the first of second of your kind. There's a second one up there at the blue buff.
They actually had 3. 2 of them got cleared out there in the bottom side, and the one over there by their blue buff is nobody cares about that one.
Yeah, he is now very lonely. 3 of his siblings went away. Although he might hit that. That being said, though, he does have a pretty good candidacy for that Ward of Longevity buff that now exists.
That's true.
Well, we'll see if that ward gets continuously swaggy as IG moves back towards the Dragon, trying to get priority of it. Syndicate, though, in the area, not necessarily going to give that one over easily.
Yeah, Syndicate has a lack of good teleport flank wards. It would be really great if they had some wards behind the pit over by the red, that bush behind red, so that Wenner could continue farming to his heart's content and then teleport in onto the back of these squishy champions.
Yeah, one thing to note, though, is that Promise is out of mana at the moment, while most of the mana bars of Industrious are pretty full.
Wait.
Potentially a cast on a Frosty, not quite. Going to get a couple of spells and harass coming through. But in the meantime, both teams casually wander away again. putting down wards, heading for that dragon now, though. They are getting it started. Industrious going to make the
Promise
first move
has his
here.
Essence Reaver, and he has 1 stack left on his Cull, which is kind of heartbreaking, but we'll see if they trade that for the dragon.
Yep. Well, Industrious get priority on that dragon. Going to be the second dragon of the game for them. Thief's going to teleport back to the top lane to deal with Wenner in the tower. That being said, that is the Angry Rift Herald that he does have, so that is going to make that a little more problematic, but Wenner going to dash away, and Thief just going to content to farm, pick up that advantage, and save that tower.
Trading an Infernal Dragon for half the damage on an inner tower doesn't seem like a very great one for me, but like you mentioned, Sivir was out of mana and caught in a situation where she needed to recall, and so they traded that opportunity for the dragon.
Yep. In the meantime, coming up here, 16 minutes into the game, a close to 2.5 thousand gold lead here for Syndicate, 3-0.
Damage.
Yeah, well, Malzahar. McBays finished that Morellonomicon, is going to have those grievous wounds for Sona and Gragas and Fiora with the Grand Challenge as well.
There are a lot of heals in this game.
There are, in fact, a large chunk of heals. Blue buff going to be handed over to the Malzahar by Imp2. In the meantime, Maokai has there as well, being like, I'm helping. I swear, I wasn't just coincidentally there.
When the top laner helps you out like that as the jungler and like saps just that little bit of experience, just sometimes throws you on tilt. They changed that kind of recently, though. You only get experience if you're the one who last hits it, so it works out.
That it does.
But
Pretty slow game, though, all things considered, aside from that sort of explosive start with the tower dive
right, and
by
I think
Syndicate.
a slow game favors Syndicate. Their scaling is kind of out of control with the Sona and the Fiora. So if this goes late, expect them to come through, particularly with the fact that Graves and Lucian sort of fall off the later the game goes.
Definitely true. Trebro and Wenner? Winner?
Wenner?
Winner?
He's a winner in
my
All
book.
right,
well,
he's doing
trying to win this one. Grand Challenge comes out. Body Slam lands as well. Explosive Blast.
Good
Thief
dodge.
knocked away from the wall. Does get the Vitals proc, and that's going to be a kill here for Syndicate. Industrious trying to make something happen as well, but Graves' gank slightly less threatening than Gragas.
Yeah.
And they are going to back away.
They're going to lose tower for this, too. It's already low from that push earlier by Wenner, and now it's gone.
Yeah, Wenner with the Rift Herald going to make that. So is it just me, or does Rift Herald make a very like unsatisfying noise?
You want it to be like the Jax empowered auto, where it's just like clunk, clunk, and like starts cracking people. Not a poke there.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a wet, squishy sound of weird. That's what it just feels like every time I hear it.
It's a little bit disconcerting, but it comes from the void, so it should be disconcerting, right?
Well, this is true, but it's kind of disconcerting in the way that it sounds like a wet dish sponge, like a dish sponge you're hitting.
You know, that just makes it perfect for top laners. It sounds like a wet noodle fight.
Battle of the Sponges. Well, I mean, I guess that was a little bit more true in the tank meta, but we've moved on, guys. Give us some Jack Smacks. Anyway. Oh my god. 4-0 here for Syndicate. They are finding sort of more plays across the map, making more advantages for themselves, bringing that up to about a 4,000 gold lead here. Coming up towards the 20-minute mark, 18:42 as we move through the game. McBays, tradition of mid laners, stealing the Raptors away from the jungler.
Malzahar's extremely good at it, too, because he has an army to do it for him.
This is very true. Just kind of leave it alone. It'll take it eventually. Don't worry about it too much.
I'm wondering when these teams are going to focus on these last outer turrets on the side lanes. 2 down in one lane each, and 2 up in one lane each. We'll see if they start flipping those lanes to get that taken care of.
Very true. That being said, we've got our first super major objective coming up. Baron spawning in 45 seconds here as the game progresses. Wave clear abounds in the mid lane as we wait for something to happen.
Yeah,
Top lane,
looks like something's about to happen down here in the bot side.
Definitely true. Alex and Thea takes a lot of damage, but there's the Destiny coming in. Peak as well, but Trebro going to get the flash body slam. That's going to be Peak falling down immediately. They're going to be able to take the tower off of this one too. Tanks in the front, taking the damage, and that's going to be the bot lane tower falling. Syndicate picked themselves up a kill and a tower off the back of that dive.
Yeah, and Industrious has no answer. They can push the mid lane really hard with Malzahar, but Maokai's not going to push his lane quickly enough, and with the dragon spawning in a minute and a half, this just gives vision priority over to Syndicate if they want it.
Very true. That is going to be another Infernal Drake spawning. Syndicate going to try and pick that one up after they lost the second, which was the other Infernal, to Industrious in the last Dragon fight. But we'll see how it works out, because right now, Syndicate is just globally ahead across the board. They're making more plays happen, and they're taking more towers off it. The mid lane turret here going to fall as well. Here comes potentially a fight, though.
A recall.
Snare onto Trebro comes through. McBays with the ultimate going to take that one. Thief with the root coming in as well. Teleport's coming in, though, from Wenner. Going to be able to dash for that. Peak has to flash over the wall. Nobody dies just yet. Gold card onto McBays, though. But that is a lot of Void lanes. Oh, boy. Oh, there's Frosty Smite. There it is.
The first Malzahar ult of the game, I think, used on the tank Gragas with the locket completed. Maybe not the best choice.
Yeah, maybe not so much, but that does mean they do not get much from it. In the meantime, Industrious poised to be able to maybe push this lane up, but Trebro coming back from the base, gonna be able to clear that one. But Industrious does get priority here on the dragon as it spawns in just 7 seconds.
They're gonna try to rush this down, but with Syndicate coming out of the base, I think there's gonna be a fight for it, and there's a couple of good TP wards if there had been a TP. Twisted Fate's ult comes out.
Here comes the Destiny. They dodge. Trebro going to get stuck up here in the back line. Explosive Cast comes out already, but homie, Imtu taking a lot of damage. Here comes Wenner going to be able to pick up the kill in the back line. Exhaust goes out on the Fiora, and that's going to be Maokai dropping on the other side as well. One more come. Gold card onto Spawn's going to land, and McBays has to run for his life. Not going to be able to make it out. That is an ace for Syndicate at the 21-minute mark, 10-0, and an easy Infernal Drake for them as well.
I think Trebro got away from that fight with double-digit health from the dot of the Malzahar and the Voidlings just whacking him in there.
Well, we're going to go with Calculated, obviously.
I mean, Calculated too. Their ultimates came back up. The only ultimate I think they were missing for that fight was they were missing the Sona ultimate, and they may have been missing the Fiora ultimate. Not, Sona ultimate pretty big in team fights. Fiora ultimate not the hugest team fight tool, but they still had the Gragas cask, the Sivir ultimate, and obviously the Destiny to come out and catch them off guard and land a big AoE wildcard combo with the Gragas cask.
Yeah, it was a beautiful combo of spells from Syndicate. Now at the 23-minute mark, 10 kills to 0 and a 9,000 goldie for them. 4 towers and 2 dragons to 2 and 1 respectively for Industrious. Going to have to make some plays here. Going to have to be able to push things if they want to be able to keep up in this game, because they are just slowly hemorrhaging resources across the map.
Yeah, and this game's only going to get uglier if they don't turn this around pretty quickly. They don't have a whole ton of playmaking abilities other than Maokai running directly at people.
The amusing thing to note, actually, is all of Syndicate except for Wenner has been involved in 9 out of 10 kills.
He's top lane, man. He's up on an island.
Yeah, there are in fact 2 mirrored scores, 3-0 and 6 for Frosty and Promised, and Alex Theo and Trebro both at 1-0-8. Absolutely gorgeous scores right now coming out from Syndicate.
It's very easy to be part of kills when you're Sona, Sivir, and Twisted Fate, because you have either the global presence or you have the aura presence that helps give you free assists for no reason.
It's a little bit more difficult with Gragas, but he has been the one making these ganks work, so it's working pretty well for him in the meantime. Trebro
is definitely like their big engage tool. They posted some stuff on the House Party subreddit the other day that was a lot of their voice comms from some of their games, and you can definitely see he's always the one going forward and trying to make stuff happen.
That's pretty cool. We should edit those into a recaps and sound of the game thing. That would be pretty great.
Maybe someday. Maybe when the technology gets there.
Maybe
when we get the sandbox mode to actually do it.
Actually, that would be pretty cool. We'll see. That being said, both teams posturing sort of around that Baron area. Wenner and Thief squaring off in the bot lane as the split push continues from that Fiora. The entirety of Industrious in that mid lane don't really have much to be able to make plays, though, without Thief.
Yeah, it's the unfortunate part. And the other thing we're seeing on the other side is that Syndicate, all their champions are doing well. And that's been kind of the hallmark of their victories, is when they win, it's not one person going off extremely hard, it's just a global team victory. So, I would expect if they're able to get this Baron.
Oh, here comes, well. Peak dies.
That's
about all I can
feeling
say
when your team
about
tells
that.
you need to check Baron. and you're just a level 9
Please
support.
go check Baron, and you're just like, I tried, and they were all there. I checked Baron and
Found them, guys. They were at Baron.
Yeah. McBay is actually back in base, so this is going to be a pretty uncontested Baron for Syndicate. There it is, 25-minute marks, 11 kills to 0, now on 11,000 gold lead. 4 turrets, 2 dragons, and a Baron to their name. Gonna look to push down something here as they move towards this top lane. Uh-oh, here comes Destiny. Frosty not going to be able to land the gold card just yet. Cullen comes out to try and stop the push. They do manage to kill most of the minion wave. That is another minion wave coming in for Syndicate as well. But Back's coming out. They are looking to get some items, pick those up for themselves, and move on for the next push after they've all regrouped.
Vaughn just unleashing some of his frustration with that culling. Like, get away from me! Stop ulting me.
Go away. This is my house. Please leave.
Peak using the mantra Q to check the bushes there. A little bit gun-shy after last time. Wondering what he did in a past life to deserve the poor karma of face-checking Baron alone.
It's kind of like Doom bots, where the bots are in every bush, and you just kind of have to hope and pray that you have enough health to survive against from one of them.
Well, you just avoid bushes. There was always a Garen in the bush. You can't.
That's true.
You can't be messing around with that.
Errands and Fiddlesticks, the people you don't want to have surprise bush death.
Right. Yeah, the people who exist exclusively in bushes.
Yeah, Promise taking a leaf out of Peak's book, going to check that with the Boomerang Blade. Finds Thief in the bush, though. A little bit more successful there.
Alright, the wards are dying, the Baron waves are being pushed up, and slowly but surely this game's going to be brought to an end. What good things can we say about Industrious that they can carry over to the rest of this series, or even toward a comeback in this one? Oh, here's the rush down.
We can say not very much just yet. Explosive Cast comes out, catches spawn, heal comes through, but the root isn't quite there. Cullen comes out as well. Treebro taking a ton of damage, but he is the tank. Turret looked like it's going to fall. That's going to be a pretty successful push otherwise. Well, I mean, they didn't die there. That's pretty good.
Right, yeah. They disengaged the fight.
Oh, no. Okay,
Peak,
well,
no!
I just said Peak! Come on, man. I just said that. Ay, ay, ay. There it is, the Caster's Curse. Never say anything.
That feeling when you're 0 and 4 and they still spend 4 ults on you.
Oh,
Feels
man. Well,
bad.
oh my god. Winner is fights Thief underneath the inhibitor turret. The laser ticking on him half the time. Still manages to pick up the kill.
Yeah,
13 kills to 0. Double inhibitors here going down. They're looking to push here on the next turrets.
Fiora. She kills you pretty quick.
Oh boy. Yomazu's play caused again. Imp2 and Spawn do have a large chunk of wave clear, but Winner's being left alone here in the top lane with that inhibitor. Being able to knock this one down to half. It is going to respawn though. Here comes the rest of Syndicate coming across, and that's going to be Poink. And there it goes. Promise picks it up. Double inhibitors down here for Industrious. Syndicate keeping up the pressure as they move across the map.
And this constant aura spam from Sona means that Syndicate is always going to have the stronger 5v5 because of these bonus stats that she's providing and the utility that she provides. I don't know, this game's ugly. They're going to go clean up probably this dragon on their way to pushing down mid, and we'll probably be going to game 2 pretty soon here.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Industrious. They're going to have to pull a miracle out of their hat. Spa. Okay, that was an interesting spectator glitch.
Just monkey shines. Just spaghetti code.
Spawn running face first into the inhibitor for a good 3 seconds before teleporting halfway across the inner side of his own base there. Syndicate, though, picking up this Cloud Drake in the meantime. 3 dragons for them. There will be 1 more Drake coming up. Looks to be another Cloud. Uh-oh, here comes Sivir coming on to McBay's. Destiny comes out as well. He does not.
Wait.
Oh, Wildcard comes through. He doesn't quite get it. Thief gonna sacrifice himself to the team there, maybe. No, maybe not. Oh, never mind. Wenner takes the kill, and there it goes.
Fiora is killing everyone.
Tons of damage coming through. Wenner is going to take a lot of damage. Falls, finally, to the Nexus turret. Industrious Gaming with the first kill of the game. On to Wenner's Fiora there. There it is. There's the bounty. They've claimed some gold.
All it took was him to dive 2 towers and one-shot their AD carry.
I mean, when you put it that way.
This has been an ugly one, but hopefully we'll get some adaptations. We'll ban the level 11 Sona, who's now playing full-on Earth mode, and we'll see if they can have a bit of a cleaner start to the next one.
Indeed. Industrious going to have to take a long, hard look at their early game as Syndicate pushes through those Nexus turrets, 1 and 2, and moving into the Nexus now. And that's like it's going to be game 1 in this best of 3 for Syndicate, coming off to a fantastic start.
A fantastic and slightly expected first game.
Very true. That being said, guys, we will join you guys in just a moment as we head up to set up for game 2. Toss it back over the stream, get you some music, and we'll see you in just a bit.